Hey everybody, welcome to Live at 5 here at Island Music Company. Like I said last week, we got a huge number of used products I want to go over this week. This things we've been getting in that we just haven't had a chance to talk about or haven't had a chance to post online yet. And then we have a pretty cool new item. I think we've done a separate video outside of the live stream where we've talked about it, but I wanted to put one in here so I talked about it to y'all as well. So let's go ahead and let's get started. We got two pieces I really want to get into first. Not a ton of information, details on them just because of the age that is on there, but let's go ahead and we'll pull them down and check them out. They're pretty interesting pieces. This is the Kalamazoo KG14. It is constructed during the 30s, 20s or 30s, somewhere roughly in there. So Great Depression era of guitars. Phenomenal stuff, really, when it comes down to it. They hold up really well. There's not a ton to do as far as setup goes, because as you can imagine, there is limited metal put into these guitars, so there's no truss rod or anything. So any of the work that would need to be done, let's see, the angle's pretty heavy on here, so it's all going to have to be done on the bridge and saddle just to kind of lower the action out a little bit. But they typically had a spruce top and mahogany body, and otherwise it holds up pretty well. There's some a decent amount of scratches and some wear and tear on it, but I don't see any cracks. The bridge is not lifting. The neck pocket is pretty secure, so there's no cracks or anything in there. Overall, being from that era and that time period, it's in pretty great shape. And definitely worth it if someone's looking for that cool collector's piece or just something new to add to your arsenal of guitars. The Kalamazoo KG14. All right, we're going to jump ahead a few decades into the 70s. This is the Gibson Robert Howard Custom. This one is a little bit more wear and tear and some loving to it than the Kalamazoo. However, still in pretty great shape. It's cleans up real nice. There's no real big cracks or anything. It's just worn. It's been a well played guitar. These, let's see, I believe we aged it at 1976. Has the original Gibson tuners, what I believe to be the original case. I think everything on this is original. It was traded in by someone who more or less just kind of left it in their closet. And they left with a pretty nice Gretsch. But it's got some checking in the finish. We've plugged it in, it does work. So even with the original electronics, it still works. But yeah, the Robert Howard Custom, 1976 from Gibson. We've got a couple used acoustics here I want to get into, so these are pretty interesting. This is the Martin Rhodes series, the GPC 13E Burst. These guitars, it's a spruce top with a rosewood body. Comes with that Martin soft case option that it carries around in. It still has the plastic on the pick guard. But yeah, this is the SC 13E from the Rhodes series from Martin. It's made in their Mexico factory. Next in used guitars, this is the Taylor Builder's Edition 717E. This is much like the 517, which is one that I own, and I love that guitar. But rather than mahogany, it uses rosewood. So spruce top, rosewood back and sides, has the chamfered edges on the body, comes with that nice Grand Pacific style, Western floral, hand-tooled case. Phenomenal guitar. The Builder's Edition. Yeah. Feels good, sounds good. Comes in the nice wild honey burst finish. But yeah, the Builder's Edition 717E here at Island Music. Then we got a few used pedals and a couple amps before I get into the new guitar for the video. Classic, can't go wrong here. Dunlop Crybaby. Everyone needs a wah pedal. Why not just stick with a Crybaby? This one's used. You find these used online, all over the market all day. So why not come in and grab one locally? Or if you're looking online, buy it online from us. Pretty good price. We've got it at $59.99. After that, this one tends to be a pretty popular one from Electro Harmonix. This is the Op Amp Big Muff. Just came in not too long ago. A little bit of Velcro on the back for those who are putting pedal boards together or anything. Pretty clean sounding. So if you're looking for that, the good overdrive fuzz kind of sound, anything Big Muff from Electro Harmonix is a classic way to go. And the Op Amp sounds really good. So don't pass that up. This one, I believe we might have two of these used at the moment, or at least we took one in recently and now we have another. This is the Palisades from Earthquaker Devices. The Palisades is one of their discontinued pedals. I'm not sure if they're one of the companies that refers to discontinued as legacy, but this is a discontinued pedal. It has three options. You have your activate switch on first switch here, which is also gain A because the second switch is gain B, and then this is boost. So you have your bypass switch, and then you can operate gain B and your boost. On these, you have voicing and bandwidth control, along with your boost volume, your tone, and your gain for each channel. So you have one master volume for the whole board, for the whole pedal. Along with that, you can set your gain for each one. So if you want one to be dirtier, one to be cleaner, you have all those options right there, just in those two knobs. You also have an option to just have it be a normal gain setting, like a normal drive, or you can brighten it up a little bit if you're looking for something more chimier. And then you have an option for your buffer to be on or off. I'd say buffer on is usually a good way to go, especially when you're going out of your drive section into your modulations and anything else right after that. The voicing and the bandwidth are kind of hard to talk about necessarily. They're much easier to explain and through a demonstration. So if you ever are curious what those mean, just come on into the shop. As long as we still have this in stock, we'll plug it in and go over it with you. But really think about it this way. You have 6 voices and 5 bandwidths. I'm not great at quick math, but I know that that's a very large number when you start doing the combinations, because then for all 6 voices, you have that one bandwidth. For the second bandwidth, there's a big number there. But those are all options and controls that you have when you're going back and forth on the different settings on this pedal. So if you're looking for something to kind of optimize your board, set up a different level of gain staging, to add layers and textures to your tone, things like the Palisades are a great option. We have a couple other dual channel overdrives in the store that are great as well. You get some from JHS, Strymon, a few people. That's just the name of a couple, but some people have them out there. NuX, that more just pop into my head. But yeah, anytime there's an overdrive pedal that has more than one channel on it, I'm all about it. Matthews Effects has a pretty good one too, and I believe we have that here in the store. I believe it's called the Architect. I think we still have it. I don't have the inventory in front of me, so I have no way to know. However, this one here is in my hand, so I know we have it. The Palisades from Earthquaker Devices. It's a great option if you're looking to just have those 2 gain stages and the boost option. All right, and behind me down here to the side, there's one on the bottom we're not going to be able to see super well, but I'm just going to walk you through it. We have a used Fender Bassman 250, so if anyone's looking for a cheaper used bass amp, we have one of those in. It's your typical Fender bass amp. If you're familiar with the Rumbles, you know everything you need to know about the Bassmans. If you need a simple bass amp and you're looking to kind of move up from a practice amp, but you don't want to go to 400 watts or 600 watts, the 250 from the Bassman line is really good. They've been around for a while. They're discontinued now. But before the Rumbles, those were kind of like the go-to from Fender. So think of it that way. Perfect for anyone, like I said, who's looking to upgrade, who might be looking for their first gigging amp but doesn't want to move up to those larger amps. The Fender Bassman 250 is a great way to go, and we've got one here used in the store right now. This is the Orange Crush 50 BXT. I knew I was going to mess it up, so I had to look at it again. So if you're familiar with the Orange Crushes, Crushes have all kinds of different coatings to them almost. But typically you have before you had crushes, crush Rs, you had crush RTs. The R stands for reverb, the RT stands for reverb tuner. And what's cool about these is all your controls are right on the top. You have a speaker out, you have your aux in, you have, I think it's a 4-band EQ. These were phenomenal amps. Let me double check something on the back here real quick. Yep. So everything's just right on the top. It does not, however, have like the balanced DI out. It is a bass amp, but you've got your headphone, speaker out, aux in, gain, volume, your EQ control. So if you're looking for your first practice amp, but you want something that's a little louder, just because Orange uses a different class amplifier than some of the other companies, you get a different tone, different volume out of it. So the Orange Crush 50 BXT here at Island Music. And that covers all the used gear. That's everything I wanted to discuss and talk about before I get to the next item. Over here in the corner, we have a Tiffany Blue FU Tone Pro guitar. The FU Pro from FU Tone, if you recognize the body shape, is a Sandema style shape. It has an FU Tone style locking bridge, the trem system. You have your coil tapping switches, kill switch on the top. In the back here, also on the front before we move over, you have an EVHD tuner. So if you want to drop to drop D, or however setting you want there, but the drop D tune is there. Here on the back, they come with clear plates so you can see all the components that are into the back. So this comes upgraded with the full the FU Tone parts. It has the 42 millimeter L brass block. It has the tremolo stop. It has 2 of the heavy duty red springs, brass claw, and brass screws all in there. And for those who aren't aware or don't know why, when you put all those into this guitar, it just makes it sound better. You can put them in any guitar. You can put most of these components into a guitar that does not have a Floyd Rose but still has a floating bridge. So whether it's a Fender Strat, you can upgrade a Strat. You can upgrade an Ibanez. You can upgrade anything that has a tremolo system on it, but it's not necessarily a Floyd Rose. What these do is your volume, your projection, your sustain, all of that just increases because all of these components are just better for tone. A great example of this, if you're not really sure, is if you ever take a regular pot metal block out of a guitar, take a brass block out of a guitar. Hold them in your hand, you'll feel the difference. When it comes to weight, they're night and day. When it comes to the pitch and tone of it, if you were to just, tap it like a tuning fork, so to speak, you're going to notice one is more dense than the other. You're going to notice one is brighter than the other. Same thing, the springs. If you were to take the springs out of this guitar, comparing to the stock springs that come on another guitar, you're going to notice these hold up better. Increased tension, increased playability. They don't outstretch or overstretch over time. They hold everything in place very well. And then when it comes down even to the claw and the screws, the claw, I believe, because it is run into the ground, has something to do with the grounding and the components of it all. But overall, you're looking at a phenomenal guitar here. They're pretty highly sought after. We had the first batch come through, and they sold through amazingly well. This next batch we just got in, so we still have some available. They did Tiffany Blue. We have a couple left over from the first run of the Ferrari Yellow. There's a black. There's like a natural. You can see the wood grain, like a transparent natural. There's a transparent purple, transparent red, neon green, antique white, sunburst, seafoam green. There's all kinds of options. Even if you may not be a shredder, maybe you're just looking for something clean that has a nice, great tone to it. This is a great option for that too. So this is the FU Pro guitar from FU Tone here at Island Music Company. So let me just kind of run through everything again here real quick, and then we'll get going for the day. All right, to my left, your right, this was the 30s Kalamazoo KG14. It spruce top, most likely mahogany body. Next to it, I'm probably in the way. The Gibson 1976 is where we believe serial number to be dated at. Robert Howard Custom. Out of frame, we had the two acoustics. We had the GPC 13E, which has a zero coat back and sides and a spruce top. Comes with the Martin soft case. We had the Taylor Builder's Edition 717E, which is the rosewood back and sides, spruce top, chamfered edges on the sides of the body. Comes with that Grand Pacific style hand-tooled Western floral case. Then over here in the corner, we had the Fender Bassman 250, the Orange Crush 50 BXT, Dunlop Crybaby, Electro Harmonix Op Amp Big Muff, Earthquaker Devices Palisades. And here in the corner was the FU Tone FU Pro guitar in Tiffany Blue with all of the FU Tone upgrades. Don't miss out on that part. That's very important because those are phenomenal pieces to include on any guitar that you can. I believe that's everything we had for you today. I just had to check my notes real quick. Thanks for tuning in here live at 5. We'll be back next week at 5. And thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you later.